Greetings Marines! FiOth here, and in this video we will be breaking down the medic. Disclaimer here, if you've been wondering what the hell happened to me, I moved house yesterday. I'm living in a war zone as I speak to you, and I just had some time to sit my ass down and make the vid because I don't want you to be left without any content because I have to deal with my own shit. So the medic is the second to last class that we have to take a look at. The only one remaining is the gunner, and as I promised, after that I will make a tier list explaining which class I consider the most important and which one I consider the least important. So what do we get with the doc? Let's watch the attributes first. First aid instructor. The duration of the healing interaction is reduced by 50%. This bonus does not stack with other bonuses, so when you heal someone and you have a doc in the team or a medic who is not preoccupied with something else, they will heal the marine in need of healing and will die it 50% faster. That's just for speed and optimization, doesn't do anything else, doesn't stack with anything else. Medical assistant. When the rest option is used after a shelter has been created, all the marines, except with those with coma and death statuses, recover +1 of their health points. This bonus stacks with other bonuses of the same type, so anytime you rest you get an additional 1 HP of healing, and stacks with everything else that is related to healing when resting in shelters. Emergency surgeon. Reduces the duration of healing by 30% rounded up for all marines returning from a mission. That means that the wounds you will sustain after you come back to the Otago and the wounds will have to observe and wait for them to heal will be reduced by approximately 30% rounded up. If it's, let's say, 29.5, it will go to 30%. This is good for keeping everyone healthy in the aftermath of the mission, so you will be less pressed to keep your favorite marines healthy and be able to redeploy them. This has nothing to do with mental trauma though, keep that in mind. What do we want on our medic? Of course, redemption. They all have a trait, it's negative, you want it out, and since it is a utility class mostly, I'll go with looter early to optimize my whole run. The rest of the ones I would suggest I don't have on my medic because this is a single save run and no one can hear you scream, but I strongly recommend Unbreakable Will. The marine is no longer subject to the tired effect, including exhaustion. Mind of Steel is also very good for recovering from trauma. They changed it with the recent patch. It was to be like every third day you will recover from trauma completely. Now it stays Marine automatically heals 1 trauma point per campaign turn. Campaign turn is an interesting term. What I understand by this is that it is a passing day. You click next day and you heal 1 trauma point. Much easier to understand and keep track of it this way. I think they made the right decision here. So this is another excellent one to have on your doc. Also, since you don't need the doc to be the frontline fighter doing everything, having a team spirit point on them and a team spirit point on, let's say, your techer will give you an additional team spirit point to use for the entirety of the team. So when you go and use utility focused classes, it's a good idea to generally have team spirit on them so they will be optimally assisting with the team in general. Now for the upgrades, it's pretty much business as usual. I start with pouches pretty much always because it allows you to loot more from the environment and take back to the Otago, and you will be able to carry more when you go out on deployments and use more if you're in a pinch. Aiming sight improves accuracy by a very nice 5%. Remember guys, this is a numbers game. 5 more points of accuracy means that many more of your bullets will hit a target, and when you have to have optimal DPS whilst you're getting charged, every little bit of accuracy helps. So don't sleep on this upgrade. I think many people underestimate it. Then we have the 3 class specific ones. Combat drugs increases maximum health points of all marines, and specifically increases the health points of all marines in the squad by 1. This bonus does not stack with other bonuses like it, so if you have 2 docs and 2 combat drug upgrades, you will not get an additional 2, you'll still get an additional 1. Morphine. As long as marine with this upgrade is alive, marine stress decreases by 30 points when they are healed, so you're not only healing them for HP, you're also healing them for trauma points. Reanimation kit. grants the reanimation kit interaction option, allows the Marine to heal another Marine in a coma. So if a Marine is in a coma, meaning they are the next worse situation than being dead, by using this you can bring them back into the fight. Of course, if they're dead in a done deal. They're mortal after all. This can be interesting if you keep getting a lot of damage on your Marines. And with coming to this, I'll have to recap and give you my thoughts. The Medic, of course, is a class very much suited towards being able to recover from physical damage. The problem with this game is that your two best options is one, not to be detected, and two, take as little damage as possible by creating kill zones with sentries and suppressive fire. If you reach a point where you need the doc to take someone out of a coma, you're not in a very good state. Having people heavily damaged or having them lose a limb and having to get a prosthetic and so on and so forth leads to a lot of downtime in the infirmary, or using all your physicians to get them out of the infirmary. So logically, your best bet and your best approach is to avoid getting that damage on the Marine by utilizing optimal strats. If they had geared the doc a bit more towards healing stress damage and not just physical for the most part, it would have been a very viable kit. As it stands, it's one of the classes I've never felt the lack of being in my squad in comparison to others, like let's say the Recon, whereas I didn't have one, I was in deep shit. This is my breakdown of the doc. I hope it was on point and you learned something useful. One more to go, the Gunner, and then we're gonna do the tier list. Sub, like, share, hit the notification bell. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. And until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!